New patch is up and it's actually pretty huge, and even though I am just flexing a little bit my new wife right here on her background, which looks fantastic, today's video is not about Moran, but actually about Chisato and the first impressions on her. We've been testing on stream how she feels. We've been doing a little bit of Ultra, Museum, Union Range, a few things. So I want to talk about my first impressions on her. Early review, early how to build her. But again, this is more of first impressions. Don't take it as a final verdict and don't take it as a final placement on the tier list or anything, right? It's just the day one jumping as usual. People will find more things as we keep testing during this week. That said, before we start, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict, and today's topic is going to be, of course, Chisato and how she feels so far after testing a little bit. Chisato is an interesting character. So like most recent units that Shift Up is releasing, she's good. She's not weak and you can use her. If you join Nick because of this collab, or if you like this IP, you can invest in her and she will work even on neutral content. Her only downside, and I say only because it's not really a downside, is that true damage will not work everywhere. But for most content there is no problem. Look at Bestie. I was gonna say Laplace, but no, don't look at Laplace. Look at Bestie, tactical upgrade. You can use her everywhere and she's been a really good character. So the same applies for Chisato. Now, her skills, her gear, her cube, and some early thoughts on her. When it comes to the skills themselves, a 7-10-7 seems to be a great place for her, and I don't think you need to go any higher. For some reference, a skill 1 at level 10 it's not even going to be an extra 10% on the attack. So you will be getting, as you can see, 46% attack and 41% true damage. At level 10, this would be 53% attack and 48 true damage. It's not a huge difference to be justifying going to level 10 in my opinion. Like, I don't think it's worth it and nothing else changes. So I will say level 7 here is more than enough. Even a level 4, if you are on a budget, can work for a skill 1. A skill 2. A lot of damage here thanks to this. I will say it's a level 10, but you could be going a 7 as well, budget early on, if you don't have a lot of books. This skill as well will give her 2 damage on normal attacks anytime you use her burst skill, which is going to be increasing her damage a lot. We were testing off burst and it's not worth using her as off burst because she loses this true damage on normal attack. She loses also, if you're not careful, extrasensory can drop below 70%, which means you are also losing these huge attack buffs that she has, right? So not really worth using off burst. She lost a lot of damage. And then her burst, same thing as skill 1. If you look at here and we go into her burst, at level 10 it's a 73%. At level 7 it's a 63. It's a 10% increase attack. Is 10% a good reason enough for people to go from level 7 to level 10? For most players, no. For competitive players, yes, as usual. Nothing else to say there, right? Like, as usual. When it comes to gear, even though she gets herself a lot of attack, you're still gonna go for the usual basic bitch DPS for Chisato. Elemental, attack, couple max ammo lines, and then you can get some crit or some hit rate. Now, hit rate takes a little bit less priority here because she's giving herself already 19% hit rate on a skill 1, and you will never lose this. Like, it's almost impossible you lose this. So no need for hit rate. You can be good maybe with 1 line. I will prioritize ammo or crit. I got really unlucky. 50 rocks more or less, 85% here, a good line with this. LA crit rate. I got attack, critical damage, and charge speed. Really good charge speed there. Critical rate, elemental, and then on the last one I got attack, critical damage, and max ammo on a really bad roll. So with those rolls, some damage comparison numbers so you guys can see. Also for some reference, base copy Chisato, right? 7, 7, 10. A doll is maxed out, so a purple doll, base 15, and the bond is level 10. So if we go into damage comparison numbers, we've been doing a few things. The first one I want to show is Ultra. So on Ultra, it's a boss that will benefit peers, and it's a boss that is made for Red Hood. It's really hard to out-damage Red Hood in this boss, like really, really hard. As you can see, running a normal basic bitch crown, helm, Red Hood, and then rapid Red Hood as a B1, 1.3 mil versus 1.8. That is really good already. Like, that is really good already. For a character that is not built, not dupes, my Red Hood is a core 5 Red Hood, right? She's doing really well. Then I put Raven to compare, 1.4. Once again, characters without peers in here suffer a little bit more. And Chisato is making up for not having peers with the extra true damage, right? Which is fantastic. And then I was testing here with Moran as a B1 instead of Rappi, and she was doing the same damage, 1.2, 1.3. And then with Siren as a B1, same thing, 1.2, 1.3. I'll make a video talking about Moran tomorrow, but she is really good. I like the treasures for this batch a lot. I think they did a fantastic job, and I think this is probably the best batch that they've done so far. Like, this is actually pretty good. All of them but Senti are fantastics. That said, that is for Ultra. Then we were checking on Museum on the same boss because it's Ultra as well this time, and she was doing pretty similar. 2.2 billion on Rapid Red Hood, 2 billion on Raven, 1.4 on Chisato, 1.5. She's doing really well. Like, that's competing, or being at the same level as a Raven if you properly invest in her, because my Raven and my Rappi have more invest than what she does. So that is pretty good. She will not really compete with Rapid Red Hood. Rapid Red Hood is a stupid character, but you get what I mean by that. And then we were checking Union Range. Two things for Union Range. I did 1 weak to iron, and I did 1 neutral. When it comes to Union Range, because of defense on the bosses, true damage will lose a lot of damage in here, right? Because of the defense in the boss, these bosses are nothing but dummy tests, so true damage loses value here. But still, if we go into Iron Weak, 8.8 versus 3.7, no comments on Rapid Red Hood, it's Rapid Red Hood. But the important one, which is here on neutral content, versus Snow White, arguably one of the best DPSs in the game at the moment, 3.5 versus 2.3. I will say honestly that is fantastic damage, even considering it's neutral content. Nowadays we barely run neutral DPSs unless it's Snow White or Rappi, right? Like, or maybe SBS or a Red Hood depending on the stage, but we barely run off-element DPSs nowadays. We are always changing the DPSs to match the stage, because that is the direction Nikki has moved on over the years. So I will say that at the first glance, Chisato is a character that is worth grabbing a copy, and in my opinion, she's going to be around a T2 on the tier list. We need to keep testing, so take this with a grain of salt, but I do believe she's on a similar situation to Bestie Tactical Upgrade. I think both of them are on a pretty good or similar situation. When it comes to the jiggle, now that I'm seeing Bestie here, there is nothing, okay? There is no jiggle, no nothing. Funny enough, her arm has more jiggle than anything else, which I think honestly is pretty funny by Shift. But yeah, with this collaboration, I was not expecting fan service, and we're not getting it. That said, like I was saying earlier, I will be making videos this week for all of the treasures. I like them a lot. I think they did a really good work this time, so I cannot do post or complain, all right? That said, that's gonna be everything basically for the first impressions on Chisato. Once again, if you can grab a copy, grab a copy. Using Gold Miliage, it's a 50-50. It's a good character that most likely will get power creep in less than a year, but at the same time, true damage is a new meta that is starting to take form and maybe can last longer than other metas we've had previously, depending how they scale bosses in the future. But all of that is copium. So up to you if you like this collaboration on the IP and want to grab a copy. If you are missing other iron DPSs, it could be good to get them. Like if you didn't play with the Stellar Blade, get a copy of Chisato. If you don't have still some of the Pilgrims, you're missing Red Hood or you're missing a normal Snow White, grab a copy, right? If you didn't pull for Milk, this would be better because Milk is a really good DPS, but you have to manual her. And most people don't want to manual her because we're lazy. So in that regard, Chisato will be feeling a better spot than she's doing. But all that said, enough jumping, that's basically everything for today. If you guys want to go and check the pulls we did today and a little bit of the testing live, it's already on the bot. You guys can check that. As usual, good luck with your pool, the internet, and I'll see you in the next one.